Hey everyone, I am Peter from Top Think, and today we are going to learn about 20 psychology tricks that work on anyone. Now, let's begin. Number 1, don't say I think. If you want people to take the things you say seriously, you have to speak like your words are facts, not just opinions. Let's say you really like a new band, but are worried people are going to make fun of you for liking them. If you say, I think this band is pretty good, people will pick up on your hesitation and might see an opening to tease you for it. But by simply adjusting a few words, you can get a totally different reaction. If instead you say, this band is really great, you should listen to them sometime, they'll see that you're not only serious about your interests, but also have the confidence to back it up. Number 2, talking with eye contact. Maintaining eye contact while you talk is another easy trick to get people to pay attention to you. Even if you don't have much to say, you'll find that holding eye contact pushes others to actually listen and even agree with what you're saying, because you've assumed the more dominant role in the conversation. You can take it one step further by nodding whenever you make a point. You'd be surprised how often the other person will not only mirror your movements, but also change their opinions based on what you have to say. Number 3, mirroring others. Mirroring isn't only useful to get people to agree with you. Next time you're having a conversation with a stranger, subtly mirror their body language and attitude. If you get excited when they do, or start laughing when they do, you'll find that your overall likability will skyrocket. You know how you subconsciously copy someone's movements when you have a crush on them? Well, this trick conveys the same kind of positive message, just in reverse. Number 4, contagious yawning. Have you ever been sitting in class or riding the bus and felt like someone was staring at you, but could never seem to catch them in the act? Like every time you look back, they somehow avert their eyes just in time? Next time you're in the same room together, try yawning. Most times, when we see someone yawn, we get the impulse to yawn too. So, naturally, if they yawn right after you do, they were probably looking your way. Number 5, listen by paraphrasing. If you want a friend, partner, or even a complete stranger to feel special and important, you can use brief paraphrasing to make them think you're an amazing listener. Say your friend is telling you a story about how their annoying roommate borrowed their soap. Every so often, you can take whatever point they just made and say it back, only with a slightly different wording. If they say, they stole the soap, respond with, they just took it without asking. You're not actually saying anything new, but the other person will feel like you really care. Number 6, ask questions. Asking frequent questions will have a similar, positive effect because they show you care enough to want more information. It also gives people an excuse to talk about themselves for a while longer, which almost always works in your favor. Number 7, false dilemmas. If you need someone to do something they don't like helping you move or going to the dentist, you can present them with something called a false dilemma. Instead of saying, do you want to help me move? Say, would you rather help me move from 11 to 3 or 5 to 6? Most will automatically choose the easier one without realizing they had agreed to help you move in the first place. Keep in mind that this trick really only works for small favors, so don't expect people to start handing over money or anything like that. Number 8, exchanging stories. You can often get someone to be more open with you by first telling them something personal about yourself, but keep in mind that what you say matters. Instead of divulging the details of every tragedy you've ever experienced, tell them about a childhood memory or some other heartwarming but still personal story. Once you've set the tone of the conversation, be silent for a while, and you'll find that they'll tell you something personal in return. Number 9, food breaks tension. Food is far and away the most universal way to break tension and diffuse just about any conflict. Say two of your friends are arguing and it's making the whole situation uncomfortable for everybody. Casually inject food into the equation by suggesting a restaurant to go to or just starting to eat whatever food you have nearby. Before you know it, they will care way more about eating than they do about the actual fight. Number 10, cure nerves with food. You can do the same thing to yourself by eating a meal when you're feeling especially anxious. You'll find that eating reduces stress and provides a good distraction before a test or a job interview. Having said that, stress eating can lead to poor nutrition and portion control, so you should try chewing gum as a healthier way to soothe your nerves. Number 11. Serial position effect. Try to memorize a list of 20 words in about 10 seconds. Now, write them down. If you're like the majority of people, you probably nailed the first few and the last few, but had some trouble in the middle. This is thanks to the serial position effect, which says that people remember the beginning and the end a lot better than whatever's in between. Use this to your advantage anytime you want to make a good impression on someone, like at a job interview or when you meet your new boss. Position yourself at the very beginning or the very end to make sure you always stand out from the crowd. Number 12. Be active. If you're looking to get to know someone better, take them somewhere that gets your adrenaline pumping to make it easier to form stronger, lasting bonds. Things like going to an amusement park, playing a sport, or even rock climbing are all great options because the increased hormone activity in your brain naturally makes everyone happier and more enthusiastic. So instead of sitting around playing video games together, you should do something active to really establish a closer connection. Number 13. The laughing look. If you're curious about how a new friend feels about you, pay attention next time they start laughing, because most people, without even realizing it, turn towards the person they like the most while they laugh. Say you're with a group of people and everyone starts cracking up about a movie you all just saw. You can actually tell who is closest to who simply by watching who each person looks at when they're laughing. So, if your friend turns to you, it's safe to say you're their closest friend in the group. Number 14. Use their name. This is another great way to make someone you just met feel important because it shows how intently you were listening and how focused you are on them. Instead of being yet another person to forget their name the moment after they say it, use their name to consistently reassure them that you will remember who they are. Number 15. Embrace silence. After you ask someone a difficult question, avoid saying things like, "Oh, you don't have to answer that," or "Sorry, we can talk about something else." Instead, you should use the silence to your advantage by letting them be the ones to fill the space. 9 times out of 10, you'll end up getting a better answer simply because you waited for them to come around. Number 16. The halo effect. When we first meet someone, it's natural to make all kinds of assumptions about who they are. So, to control the assumptions that people make about you, kick off the conversation by finding something you have in common. This way, every assumption they make will be built off that initial positive foundation. Number 17. Ask for help. As much as people admire confidence and intelligence, asking for help can also be a great way to win people over. By admitting you don't know something, you give them an opportunity to shine while also making you seem much less intimidating. Number 18. We need ... Having said that, there are also effective ways to ask for help without giving the other person all the power in the conversation. Instead of asking them to carry a box, for example, say something like, "We need to get these moved," or "We need to help with these boxes." Most times, people will volunteer to help even if you never directly asked for it. Number 19. Give a gift. To make sure you start off on the right foot with a stranger, you can lead with some kind of gift. Even if it's small and insignificant, a gift makes the other person feel like they matter to you, while also giving them something physical to remember you by. Number 20. Lose to win. While this one may seem a bit backwards, you can actually get the better of most heated arguments by simply giving up, as long as you do it in the right way. If the other person is yelling, screaming, and desperately trying to make their points, give them a little smile and calmly say, "Yeah, maybe," or "You're probably right." You may not have won with a better argument, but the other person will walk away from that conversation feeling like they lost. Thank you for watching Top Think, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible content is on the way.